Well, this is your annual reminder that Lent, this 40-day season that we are now embarking upon, is not intended to be a time to mope around, groveling and feeling vaguely guilty about something you should or should not have done. As one person I heard said it, Lent is not about shoulding all over ourselves, nor is Lent the church's version of New Year, New You. Lent is not like a New Year's resolution. It's not a diet or self-improvement regimen. Lent is first and foremost an invitation. It is an invitation that we will hear in just a few moments' time, some of these ancient words of the church that the holy people of God have been invited to for millennia. Being invited to the observance of a holy Lent. That word that means set apart with a specific intention. By, as the prayer book says, self-examination and repentance, by prayer, fasting, self-denial, and by reading and meditating on God's holy word. No, Lent is not about walking around feeling vaguely guilty. Lent is about the specifics. And specifically, Lent is a matter of the heart. As the prophet Joel states so succinctly, rend your hearts and not your garments. Rend your hearts and not your garments. Return to the Lord your God. The Lenten disciplines that we undertake are meant to orient our hearts towards God. Any and all of our Lenten disciplines are meant to orient our hearts towards God. A number of years ago, back in San Antonio, a good friend of mine came to me before the Ash Wednesday service, and he said, "Brad, you're not going to believe what happened to us yesterday. I was at home working in my home office, which was downstairs, and I heard a commotion upstairs. And before I could realize what was happening, I realized somebody was in the house, burglarizing the house while I was present there. And once they realized that there was somebody, in fact, in the house, they ran out the front door, but not before stealing a few valuable items. And as we entered into that Ash Wednesday service, and I could barely make it through that part of our gospel reading that talked about thieves breaking in and stealing, and where our hearts are, there also, where our treasure is, there also will be our heart. He shared with me that it was not so much the replaceable things that insurance may or may not have covered that was so hard about that experience for him. It was being robbed of the sense of security. A place where you feel safe and at home is your home. And he said more than any of the things that they stole, it was that sense of safety and security that we felt robbed of. It was the beginning of a difficult but meaningful Lent for him as he reflected on this passage. Where is my true safety? Where's my true identity? Where is my treasure? How do I orientate my heart towards God? Now here on Ash Wednesday, we're given these wonderfully ironic readings that we're told, in some sense, not to do the very things that you and I are about to do, right? Well, if we back it up, if we look at the prophet Joel, it says twice, blow the trumpet, assemble the people, make this fast. And then we look at the reading from our Gospel of Matthew, and what does it say? Do not blow the trumpet, right? Perhaps the difference lies on the emphasis and on the intention. Perhaps the difference lies in the difference between the individual and the community. In Matthew, we are told about the hypocrites, right? The people whose values that they say and the actions that they enact don't exactly align, and it is distasteful and horrible to encounter. They are saying, look at me, look at how I pray, look at how I give to the poor, look at how I fast. The emphasis is on the individual. In the book of the prophet Joel, however, we see described a solemn assembly. And notice this beautiful language, how it talks about the aged, the children, the infants. It talks about brides and grooms. It talks about the priests. It talks about the whole holy people of God assembled together to pray, to fast, and to take care of the poor. It is, as it has been so wisely described, this seismic shift in spirituality from me to we. A massive shift in emphasis from me to we in the spirituality. Notice here that Jesus does not say, don't pray, don't fast, don't give alms. He says, no, when you do those things, don't do them in order to be seen by others. Don't do these things in order to be seen by others, because this is ultimately an empty reward. So this evening, you and I are being offered a gracious invitation. It's not an invitation to walk around feeling vaguely guilty. It's not an invitation to living your best life this Lent. It is an invitation to a holy season where you and I begin to orient our hearts towards God. Given this gracious invitation, I wonder, how is it that we will respond?